Hello there, guys. How are we all doing today? It is day 2 of EPIC38 powered by Intel, and it's going to be a big day of CS for a lot of these teams. This is the playoff bracket. This is these best of threes, these long drawn-out matches, and it's going to be an absolutely epic first match. But Charlie, why don't you give us a little bit more of a rundown of this first game?
Yeah, so the first game we've got, obviously Legates versus Vitalize, Fred. I mean, firstly, I'm really looking forward to being here. Day 2 is going to be exciting. This is where, I mean, like you said, this is where these games become these long, drawn-out best of threes. We already saw some really, really close games. We watched some behind the players, and, I mean, there were so many that were so down to the wire, and I think it's just going to get even more exciting now that we are in this best of 3 format. Yeah, like I said, Legates versus Vitalize, Fred. Obviously, the low-bracket game. Only one of these two teams can continue onwards, and I think that's what adds that pressure to these best of threes as well, which is always exciting to see. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to today, and I think we're going to have some really great matches to watch.
Yeah, and I think as well, obviously, you know, this is going to be a tough game for both teams, but their next fixture as well, they're going to be against Keep 'em Honest or 3 Friends, 2 Foreigners, and both teams, once again, looking like hard opponents, but I feel like that's what happens in this playoff bracket. You're not going to have those easy opponents. It's no longer the group stage. You're no longer getting kind of those 16-2s against the 8th seeds. So this is that kind of top level of CS that we, you know, really kind of have all been waiting for. Obviously, group stage, it is important. You have those kind of battles between those first and second seeds, but I can't wait to see this one play out. Obviously, though, Charlie, we've spoken about the teams. Let's have a little bit of a look at the map pool, and we can kind of have a little talk about whether that will favour one side or another.
Yeah, Vito is going to be such an important part, so let's see what they've got in store for us.
Here they come through. No Mirage or Ancient. Vitalize picking Inferno first. I like the look of that. Legates, Nuke. Nice little...
Had to be Overpass, Fred, as the third and final map as well. Yeah, Mirage instantly getting banned there from Vitalize. Didn't even want to have a look at that. Obviously, Ancient followed. Yeah, like you said, Inferno. Going to be a really exciting... I mean, Nuke's the only real... Well, I wouldn't say surprise, but...
More of a punish pick,
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, Inferno and Overpass, both maps that every sort of team here will know. They should be able to play to a reasonably high standard, but Nuke is going to be a very exciting one to watch, because we saw yesterday on the Nuke game that we did watch a bit of a T-side dominance, really.
Yeah, definitely.
And that really sort of set the tempo for how Nuke did go. So it's going to be interesting to see if we do see a similar sort of thing today. Obviously, early morning. I'm sure a lot of these guys have just woken up, so it'll be interesting to see how warmed up they've really had, how much time they've had to prepare for this game, how long they sort of knew their opponent for, and what we've seen from that. Maybe any sort of strats coming out. Yeah,
potentially some punish picks, maybe looking through the demos last night if they did have that time. But something that we kind of talk about quite a lot is the bit of a risk when kind of picking a map like Inferno. Your opponents are going to know it to a T, and that's where it's a bit of a risk. But, Charlie, I'm pretty sure we're heading into the game very shortly, so this is going to be some exciting stuff. Inferno on the cards first, and I can't wait to see it in action.
Yeah, do you have any team you slightly lean towards, at least just for Inferno? Not going to put you on the spot and say the whole best of 3 just yet.
Well, obviously, Inferno's picked by Vitalize. I'd probably favour them in Inferno, but I'll be honest with you, Charlie, I'll probably favour them in the whole thing. I'm going to throw it out there. I think Vitalize looking all right, and I put them forward. Bit of a bold call, I guess you could say. There.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on Inferno being a map that it can be very tough to predict, especially if it's been picked by a team, because it is a map that everybody will know how to play to a very, very high standard. So a lot of the time it feels like who's feeling better on the day, at least in the initial stages. Like I said, it's very early morning. A lot of these guys probably haven't warmed up to the extent that they might have yesterday, for example. Maybe if Legates have a strong start, there's no reason why they can't just allow that to carry them through, take the first map, and who knows what can happen on Nuke.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it will just come down to the fact of whoever's just warmed up into it a little sooner, and that really can just come off the back of the early couple rounds. All you need to find, you find the pistol, the next couple, your team's got that not only morale, but they're also kind of a bit excited and warmed into the game already, whereas it's not going to be a similar story for both teams, but I can't wait to see this one in action, and I think now, Charlie, I'm pretty sure we're going to be heading into the pistol now.
Yeah, Fred, I'd love to hear some screams. I'd love to hear some people getting really hyped out, because that's what you need in the morning, get you pumped up and ready for the game. But here we go, Fred. Pistol round underway. Legates starting on that T side. Smoke, Flashbang, and P250 are their investments.
Yeah, and I like the buy from Vitalize. Dropped over 2 sets of Julies, and Earl has invested in the Flashbang, and I feel like the Julies can work out very nicely. But here we have it, Charlie. Pistol round. First altercation of this series. And Fraser going to be the one to try and find a pick. We'll just back away. Zeth completely baited in. He has been spotted, but does find one before falling. And Fraser, that's a lovely. He finds his second, pushing through the smoke for a third. Will go down, but Earl on the bomb site cleans things up very casually. And Vitalize, they kick off Inferno with a pretty successful pistol round.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great pistol round, at least from the eye test, but it had a lot of risk about it. I mean, 3 very individual sort of duels there. The first, obviously, being Zeph towards Sandbags. If he found nothing, that could have been disastrous. But Fraser finding having so much confidence to repeat that time after time and get so much success from it, and obviously Earl as well, finishing things off on the bomb side. But yeah, definitely could have spiraled out control for Vitalize, but the individuals handled it massively well. 4 spy out for Legates, though. Just these pistols. Bit of util behind it, though.
Yeah, obviously, going for force on that second round, you're kind of expecting a bomb plant in the round prior because we have these Tech 9s, we have these Eagles. They've invested in a fair bit of util, which I do like to see. I feel like sometimes a lot of teams will be kind of prioritizing that weaponry, but I feel like the util definitely works kind of quite nicely, but Reese will find one before falling. Fraser still on the back of the bomb site. Earl takes down Fanui through the smoke. And it's all on Rayman, 45 points of health, 1 versus 4. We're not expecting much. He'll be able to find his first. He's got 2 more targets towards short, though. Tries to eliminate Fraser, but the MP9 does have that success. So Vitalize 2-0 up, and an expected third as well, as they are just going to be against the Eco.
Yeah, this should be their easier cleanup now. I mean, they only lost 2 players on, obviously, that 4 spy round. But Vitalize, yeah, in general, they're going to be sort of looking to win this one as dominantly as possible. Try to ideally keep 5 players alive. There are 4 HG grenades spread invested for Legates. Where they use this could really just find a kill in itself, maybe even more.
They're still towards T-round, they're still biding their time. Earl, though, to HG grenades, is the one to find his first with it. Are just going to be having a bit of a crunch towards round.
Yeah, Legates. They just haven't been allowed to use those HG grenades at all.
Yeah, okay. Not really expecting much, just a Glock hit. Taking his time and kind of catching him out there. The MP9 of Earl finding 3 in that round. In fact, obviously the nade getting that first kill.
Yeah, 3-0 start though for Vitalize. It's what they have been looking for, but they're going to be on a little bit of a bonus round here. You can see they've got 2 MP9s in play still, the FAMAS. But if they take that sort of aggressive, Inferno is a map where you really can with the MP9s without much of a problem. On sort of any bomb site towards Banana, you can take so much control. In apartments, you can play close angles towards Boiler. Yeah, there's no real issue with having these MP9s. But Regan with a double, showing that the MP9s are just there for display. The M4s where it really shines, and a great double to kick things off here. This is Legates' first full bite of this series, and right now it looks like they're going to get shut down before it really began.
It seems as though Earl wants to have a little bit of a creep through the smoke. Seeing now Earl falling, in fact, but Zeth does get a pick back towards ramp. 4 on 2 here. Ooh, Pracy though, that's an important kill onto Fraser. Yes, it's one of the MP9s, but it brings it to a 2 versus 3. There is somewhat of a chance here. And I feel like Vitalize, they need to understand that. They can't really be taking many more risks because Legates, they find another pick. Are we going back to a 2 versus 2? Remember, Charlie, they've got the util on their side and the weaponry. So Vitalize, they actually need to be quite cautious in this round.
Yeah, Regan has to catch somebody on the jump spot. Just has there. Able to back away, keep his molly intact for now.
Yeah, Reese is in a great position here towards second mid. He is a little bit worried about T-Apps, and understandably. But we are just going to be having Reese holding the lines here. Simple frag. That's the bomb carrier as well. Pracy has been spotted, has crossed, and Reese wants to kind of have a little bit more of a go, but could give Pracy a kill here. Certainly what happens. Pracy 1 versus 2 now, but Charlie, it's still possible. A 1 versus 2, it's not all that difficult. Bomb going down now, has planted safe, but Zeth and Regan both going to be seeing through. And Pracy sadly can't find any more, so Legates, as you mentioned, Charlie, unable to win their first full buy round, but it got quite close for a round that started 5 versus 3.
Yeah, it certainly did. I mean, I really like how Vitalize played that in the end. As soon as they hear that bomb plant, they're going to be aware that it's planted in the very corner, so they just bomb out together, swing as a unit, getting ready to at least get the trade, but did one better, kept 2 alive.
Yeah, Vitalize, 4-0 start. That's exactly what we spoke about, Charlie. All it can take is just those couple rounds early on, get your team really spurred onto it, and can can't be enough. We do see the big green out for Fraser, Kate. In a bit of a tough position here. Tucked towards Broom. Smoke has landed deep ramp. Pretty isolated. The Molly's going to come through, but oh, they're going to be aware of it. Nice find from Kid. Gets a second, single-handedly opens up the B-bomb site.
Yeah, Fraser, the only player that can really stop anything. You can imagine a smoke is just going to be dropped towards CT. Maybe a molly towards Ruins, but he has rotated all the way around. Here's a second smoke coming down. Fraser may have a bit of an avenue to look in, but has been well by his teammate there.
Reese able to find one. Big 'un with the trade. Fraser elevated above the smoke here. Fires off a bit of a pot shot, but it doesn't connect. 2 versus 4 here, and the Gates finally have found their footing on the T side. It's not all over yet, though. They need to confirm this round. A similar story to what Vitalize were in the last. They need to get this one successfully, because Legates, without it, they're going to be facing a 5-0 down start, and that's really not what you want to be in. But they've got control of the bomb site. Rotations haven't come through. I think we're just going to be expecting a save from Fraser and Zeth. So Legates, first round on the board for them.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as we saw, we did end up seeing, obviously, the players towards B sort of just fall back towards the A-bomb site. They just called it quit. They weren't going to go for it at all. So yeah, just making sure they do keep hold of these weapons. They've got the AWP on Fraser, obviously, full util on Zeph, and an AK to play with. They're going to have enough for a buy in the next round. Legates, an important round for them to win, though. Keeping 4 alive as well in the first round. It's going to be exactly what they need, really. They don't have a lot of money in the bank, so keeping that level of economy is going to be so necessary if there is going to be any chance for them to win this one.
Yeah, I feel like as well, you know, they need to keep that economy, as you mentioned, because they're going to be against a full buy in the next. These 2 players have saved. Obviously, everyone on the team apart from Key maybe is going to get a buy in the next. So Legates, even if they don't win this next one, the fact they kept 4 players alive, it means they've still got that opportunity to buy in the next, and that is going to be really, really key.
Yeah, Fraser obviously still with that save door. Has to have a little bit more impact. Felt like the round was lost, which is like Key alone there, but they're going to push in. The top banana gets caught out by Regan, but there is reinforcements. But in fact, they're just going 1 by 1 now.
Yeah, it seemed a bit disjointed there from the Gates. I think once we saw the initial player of Biggin going down, potentially he needed to kind of just understand, you know what, you pushed a little bit alone, I wasn't by your side, no trade could have come through. Luckily though, Key did find one with a molly, I guess, so it's not all too bad. Only that 1-man disadvantage, so Legates, they can still bring themselves back into it, but I'm quite happy that Legates didn't kind of shove everyone through that smoke, because going great, they're never really going to win that battle, especially when it's so kind of a heavy B setup.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously already saw the prime example of that happening in that initial push, but yeah, good sort of just mental fortitude from Legates, just to be like, yeah, we've got to call this quits. We can't force anything here, but top banana is going to be taken by Rayman. Isn't going to be fully understanding that just yet, but clearing sandbags, yeah, he's got that position, he's gone out, finds Zell. Can he get a second? He can, Zeph falls.
Once again, Charlie, Legates, they send 1 player probing towards B and they get a double. Vitalize need to be a little bit more cautious towards the B-bomb side, because twice in a row, losing both players, Rayman deep towards Ruins, Fraser completely unaware of that. Legates, they've had that success towards the B-bomb site, but it's not come from those kind of intricate executes, it's not come from team play, it's just one individual going out towards the B-bomb site, absolutely shredding, and realistically, Vitalize, not really much to say.
Yeah, I mean, there are positions where Vitalize just have to be better. You can't, I mean, every now and again it's going to happen where one player just has an unbelievable round and they will win it, but you can't have it sort of two rounds in 2. Yeah, bit costly there from Vitalize, and Legates are slowly making their way back into the game. The buy from Vitalize isn't actually terrible when you consider they have just lost the last 2 rounds, got 3 M4s in play. Mag 7, if that's played towards B, they can still do a decent enough job, and Reese with the Deagle is certainly going to be very capable with that weapon, so it certainly could be worse.
Yeah, the molly is going to fall well back. Mag not going to work out so well. Does a lot of damage to keep it. Not enough. 5 HP, still alive now. It's a bit unfortunate. I feel like when you play the Mag 7 towards half full, you really kind of just hope it's a nice Molotov there from Legates to force him back. Racy's taking control of apartments, and Vitalize potentially need to go for a bit of a gamble in this round, Charlie, because I don't think they can play so static.
Yeah, they are going for that gamble that you mentioned. 3 towards B for now. It's just going to be Fraser towards A. Throwing out the Molotov, but he's going to have so many bodies coming his way.
Yeah, really needs to try and find a couple picks early. I think if Fraser can find one before the execute comes through, they might just fall back towards the B bomb site, which is potentially what Vitalize are searching for. But Legates, they've sent a lot of utility. Rotations now coming through. Reese is still here. Playing from Arch, just going to be waiting for the cross. No smoke to deny vision here, so Reese could find a couple kills.
5 HP key alone, but
He finds it.
flashbang out. Yeah, it does get taken down, and Zeph now potentially in a world of hurt. So many bodies, but he goes for the swing initially. He finds absolutely nothing. Now he's specifically going to get crunched on. He can't even find the 5 HP player.
Yeah, once again, Cage is jumping through, finds him, and I love the confidence of that. And he had the bomb as well. It's quite a risky play, but it worked out once again. Cage found 3 kills in this round, and Fraser surely going to struggle to keep himself alive. He's just tucked here. Rayman surely going to spot him eventually.
So close to being able to spot part of his gun. He looks aware that could be at the back of the bomb site, but yeah, he hasn't been shown anything yet. But Legates will be within 1 round, and Fraser finally spots Rayman. Dinks him in the process. Look how low some of these Legates players are.
Rayman must be devastated. He was holding there for so long.
Yeah, Fraser does find 2, but Legates are continuing to hunt. This doesn't feel worth it. Just 1 and 4. Vitalize. They're not going to be able to buy next round anyway, but they will take him down.
Yeah, potentially just to make sure that, it's even harder for Vitalize in the next. We're expecting Legates to win this round anyway, but I feel like you can never count out a player with a saved M4. I feel like even just the damage they can deal, if it comes down to a 1 versus 2 or, only 2 players surviving for Legates, the money's going to be worse off than it was. So you do understand it. The fact they only lost 2 players, it's not all too bad, but yeah, I feel like if Fraser was able to find 1 more there, that would have been a little bit kind of too much of a hunt.
Reese with the Zeus in apartments.
I like it. Could get caught off here. I don't think he's going to. Yeah, Pracy finds him. Kid as well eliminates Earl. Zeth with the CZ at range. Really struggling against Rayman, expectedly as well. And Fraser, all that remains here now.
Yeah, Vitalize in this round were searching for something just to go their way, but yeah, nothing at all did. We're going to be leveled up for it. This is going to be a level game, 4-4. Vitalize looked really strong initially, but Legates battled their way back.
But Charlie, remember, that's what the pistol round can really do for you. Nice shot there from Fraser. We'll go down to Bigham though. So 4 surviving there for Legates. Economy growing once again, and look at their economy, Charlie. It is really, really strong. I believe they can lose the next 2 rounds and still invest. So it just goes to show that similar kind of story to what Vitalize were in initially, but you've got to imagine that's what the pistol can do for you. Legates, they're now looking pretty strong, back to a level playing field, as you mentioned. And it seems as though they're the ones that are in the driver's seat now. They're the ones setting the tempo.
You know about 4 either side, so they will just have to be content with the rifles. But yeah, I mean, look at the speed of Legates' push towards A. Heavy pack mentality. Fraser finds nothing. Reese there with the double. Able to back away to the bomb site. Still 100 points of health to his name, but that's where the flank comes through. That's where the wrap Bigham takes him down.
And that's the costly kind of decider to have 3 defenders towards B early. When they just go for a fast A-pop, the call is perfect there from Legates. But Charlie, once again, Legates, they could have invested in an AWP, but they opt against it. I think they're just going to be running 5 AKs on the T side because they understand a map like Inferno, a team like Vitalize, you don't really want to play it slow. You don't want to really give Fraser that time to work with the AWP, so they are just playing it very, very quick. And it's working out nicely for them, but a 3 versus 3 post plant here. I don't believe there's a kit in play, so it's not going to be easy here for Vitalize. I think they're just going to be saving. And I'll be honest with you, Charlie, I agree with the call. I think it's going to be a tough retake, so definitely makes sense.
A bit of BM in chat, just... I don't really know what just happened there, but...
Bit of a team kill.
Yeah, a team kill, but I don't really know why. I mean... We did see a few teams when they've got so much confidence here at Epic, they maybe
have some fun with it, yeah.
Yeah, have a bit too much fun with it, maybe.
I think
maybe, are we seeing that already?
Oh, I don't think so. Potentially it was just a spray. Oh, no, it wasn't even a spray through a smoke. I don't know, Charlie.
Yeah,
I'm lost for words.
I mean, maybe it was. Maybe a little bit too much fun early.
I'll be honest with you.
You are run ahead.
If you're giving me a little, if you were giving me a little bit of kind of smack in the team speak, I probably would team kill you as well. So it could be something like that.
Well, Maybe there's something more sinister about it. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But the Legates do take the lead in this series now. All power on Fanui.
Yeah, not a similar story for Fraser though. Flash over apartments. Fraser fully blinded. Hasn't been taken down yet. There's a player on the bomb side, but he doesn't see him. Reese getting 2 though. Will go down to Rayman. So onto with this 3 versus 3 once again. And it's just a fast A-pot from Legates. You know, it worked so well for them in the last. Let's just do it again.
Reese finding the double was huge for the defense. Gives Vitalize a chance here.
Yeah, without it, they really, really would struggle. But it's going to be a difficult retake once again. They do have the kit on their side, but once again, another smoke towards Moto. Are they going to be saving once again, Charlie?
Uto's fully gone. Yeah, giving it a crack, but maybe they shouldn't. Zeph, the only one to find anything there. Yeah, it felt like Vitalize used a lot of their utility very, very early, and they didn't really have enough when they were fully committing into that bomb site at all. But Legates, 6 rounds in a row, Fred. It feels like they've really found their form in this one.
It's brilliant stuff as well, because something to mention, Charlie, obviously, this is Vitalize's map pick. I think when you have these strong teams, I feel like map pick maybe has a little bit less of a kind of implication. I feel like they're all going to be strong in the pool. I feel like all these teams, the 6 maps that are in their current active pool, they're going to be strong on them, but this is the risk of picking a map like Inferno. This is exactly what I mentioned, Charlie. I'll be honest, I think we're seeing it now. They're looking brilliant on the T side, and expectedly, Inferno, a map known, played by everyone. So, I feel like picking it, very risky.
Yeah, Zeph in a really tricky position right now. It does get flashed in, finds nothing, actually able to escape through Banana, so all things considered, he's been a bit of a nuisance in this round, even though he hasn't found a single kill, but Reese and Earl certainly have, 1 apiece.
Yeah, no, upgrades that Mag 7 to the AK. 5 versus 3 here. Vitalize, they finally got their opportunity, and it comes off that aggression towards mid and B. And the Legates played this round a little bit slower. Didn't work out all too well for them. Potentially they need to go back to that fast aggression, whether it's the A bomb site, the B bomb site. They need to kind of stick as a pack, because it worked out so well for them.
Yeah, it felt like they didn't really have much control in that round at all. Felt like it would just keep towards that B side. Took so much damage early and couldn't really fight it anymore just because they were so low HP. And 2 more Legates players just sort of trapped towards T-Ramp. It didn't feel like they were given much room to move in that round from Vitalize, but it's still not over.
20 seconds on the clock though, Charlie, and with these 3 A defenders, it's not going to be easy. Zeth's in a great little off angle. Spots the gun barrel, finds the first, second soon to follow. And it's all they're doing. Can't even find anything. All 5 alive there for Vitalize. And it comes off the back of Legate's slow play. But yeah, as you mentioned, Key really being the only one to try and take any control. You know, you're stuck towards Banana. You're going to be taking some HE damage. You're going to be taking some Molotov damage. But right back in it, Vitalize are.
Yeah, really crucial round for them to win. The fact that they keep all 5 alive, like you mentioned as well, is going to be nice for the finances. Fraser able to be back in the York.
And there it is. Fraser, an aggressive peek towards second mid, takes down Fraser. That's exactly the style of play that we kind of expected from Fraser. Going for those bold calls, going for those risky plays, because I feel like the success that Fraser gains from it is you know, absolutely ridiculous.
So we mentioned earlier in this game, Legates, it feels like they've been so deadly in this B bomb site. An individual able to take it themselves. Haven't been able to find a kill yet, but boosted over the smoke. Oh, full key.
Ooh, and a bit of a counter boost as we see it from CT. But Fanui still finds him. The smoke and K, although 20 HP once again, a success story here. But Charlie,
yeah,
it's not even going B.
But there is someone here to keep Fraser's attention.
If Keane could just keep himself alive, that's brilliant. Fraser.
Oh, the timing's just gone off wasted.
A little bit of damage dealt as well. Bomb's gone down now, and this is the type of round that Fraser loves to go for.
He's going to have no idea where any of these players are. So paranoid that they could be here, deep towards CT, deep towards long. Bomb's coming up half ticked now.
They've got to clear all of these angles. And this whole time, Legates, they haven't shown anything. And rightly so. No need to try and kind of take a fight when you don't need to. And Fraser just going to have to save, not giving anything. And K, what a performance in that round. Not only finds 2 kills, you know, while he's fairly low HP, but the delaying, as you mentioned, well, it might have been 10, 15 seconds, and that is such kind of a big delay there.
I mean, Fraser could have been there towards that A bomb site, a lot more confident that these players can't be in too many deep positions, a lot closer to the site when that bomb does go down, and had a bit more time to give that one a crack. But yeah, you saw he just wasn't given anything. So even with some of the time that he did have to play with, he just couldn't really give it a crack, had to go for the save. Legates finding 7 though, only lose 1 before they're back to their winning ways.
Yeah, Legates are looking good. They're looking strong. The money's all right as well. We do see the 4 buyout for Vitalize though. Fraser back on the AWP. And it's a fairly strong buy. 3 defuse kits, pretty much full util on everyone. But a necessary round for Vitalize to win, because it's going to be a half buy in the next if they do lose. Legates will win the half, and we'll be looking at maybe a 9-6 scoreline at best for Vitalize, so they've got to get a win here in this round.
Legates, it seems like they're more than content to play with these 5 rifles on the T side of Inferno. It certainly is a map where a lot of teams probably would opt to choose to rifle overall, just because it feels like it's a lot more easier to take the control. It's a lot easier to trade, break into these bomb sites. There's so many angles. Very tough if you're open.
It's not as though Fanui can't do it with a rifle. We saw it in the last. Found a nice little cheeky kill on the back of the boost there. So I feel like if you are and work with both the rifle and the AWP to a very high standard, then it makes sense. But it's K once again. 2 openers here towards B. We do have this 3rd player in Zeth, but K pushing deep here towards tree. If goes unchecked, this round is over. But he's just going to drop the deep smoke. Fraser will find him, but it's a 1 versus 5 for Fraser. He's going to struggle to save as well as Rayman is here. But what a round from Legates once again, Charlie. And as you said, they've had a lot of success towards B, but it's the individuals once again. Fraser can't even find a pick before falling. Legates find 8. A 9th surely could be on the cards as well, as in it is an expected half buy. And Legates, they are looking brilliant here. Potentially, Charlie might have turned up to the conference center a couple hours early and getting that warm up, because they seem pretty hot in this game.
Yeah, it certainly is. Maybe they never left.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe just been continually warming up since yesterday. But yeah, certainly looking hot here. 1.5 on the T side of their opponent's map pick.
Again, successful round here for the Legates. Only 1 casualty, being Biggin. 9 rounds on the T side, Charlie.
It could be that 10-5 red. That would be, unbelievable. When you consider it was 4-0 up for Vitalize as well. I mean that really just rings so true.
Well, you remove those first 4 rounds, which I'll be honest with you, kind of came from the pistol. Obviously, I believe there was 1 full buy from Legates. Yeah, 9-1. It just goes to show that the pistol round holds a lot of importance in these games, and the next pistol is going to be even more important for Vitalize, because without it, Legates, they could be on 10, 11, 12 rounds just off the back of that, and potentially that's where it's looking a bit dangerous. And remember, Charlie, this is Vitalize's map.
Flashbang's great. Zeth does find the early kill. Rayman very isolated towards A. Rest of his team, except for Crazy, looking towards that B side of things. Oh, getting flashed in. Spots nothing towards top banana, but Kate. There he is, Fred. He's ready to break into the B bomb site again. Regan finally shuts him down.
Great defense there from Regan. And that's kind of the gift of playing that nice little off angle. You're going to catch out your one opponent, and I feel like can just stick to his guns. It wasn't as though the swing was perfectly orchestrated. He was able to reset the strike. Ooh, nice molly and swing from Fanui. It is a 2 versus 3 that can work out well, but he needs to clear Reese. Oh, he gets the drop on Crazy, but it doesn't matter. The flick there, eliminating Reese. Crazy 6 HP. There's still the chance here for Legates to find 10. And Fraser swings on through. Crazy still very low. Able to find him, and Regan now. He did a great job to hold off the B-bomb site. It's now his turn to retake A. Regan swings on through, finds the first. He spotted Fanui. 1 versus 1 here. An important round for Regan to find, but Fanui finds him. 10 rounds from Legates. And remember, Charlie, the first 4 were won by Vitalize, so what a performance on their T side. Legates, they've hit that newfound form, and this is looking a bit scary for the side of Vitalize.
Fred, that was a 2 versus 4 there. The mistakes that would have had to be made from Vitalize. I mean, we saw just in that 2v2, Fraser wanted to swing out, wanted to try to see what he could do before they sort of left the bomb site, before they get set up in their post-plant positions. But what it did was just isolated another 1v1, or 2v1 in fact, that favoured Legates.
Yeah.
And it just felt like too many individual mistakes and Vitalize. There was never a situation where they were fighting 2 people. Not a single time in that 2 versus 4.
Yeah. They made it look quite easy, but it wasn't them. It was kind of Vitalize, a little bit misstepping, but Keep finds a nice opener. They are going to be splitting through Moto here. Pracy in apartment and Rayman still towards Pit. Pracy just needs to keep himself alive. 2 HP. Has got Zeth here. Oh, jumps over Rayman. He finally emerges. Gets his first. Struggling to find the second, though. And the T's looking good here. Vitalize potentially restabilized a little bit. Rayman still towards Pit. Doing so much work. And now Biggin's going to be rotating in. And lovely stuff there. What a performance from Rayman. And Charlie, we talk about this, the Pit player. Sometimes it's just keeping yourself alive that can really, really help your team out. Obviously, found 3 kills there, but what a performance there. Legates, they win the pistol, and things are getting even worse now for the T's.
Yeah, I mean, you saw what happened when Vitalize realized that Rayman was in Pit. They tried to send everything at it. They were so paranoid that, okay, yeah, this position's so strong. We've got to get him out of the action, really. But in doing so, they lost 3.
Yeah, devastating.
11-5. You mentioned the importance of the pistol round. It does go the way of Legates. A surprisingly good buy here for Vitalize.
Obviously, that's the bomb plant, isn't it, Charlie?
Yeah, obviously, I
The
believe dropped AK as well. From just playing with the Deagle in this round, but
okay, he needs to be a bit cautious. Spots one towards Logs. He's going to hit. I think the flash hit him, in fact. I think the flash connected with Reese.
I think he just wanted to get out of there. Heard it and realised, yeah, this probably isn't worth fighting, but does fall, gets traded by Reese.
Nice flash there. Still a 4-on-4, but with 2 players slightly chipped away at Biggin, swinging through the smoke. Quite costly there. We mentioned individual mistakes being Vitalize's downfall on the CT side, but you have to say Biggin quite unnecessarily swinging through that.
Yeah, they did have the weapon advantage there.
Oh, I like this boost here. Going to be clearing out these angles. 2 players towards Banana. Rayman swinging through, finds Reese, but Earl finally emerges from Dark. Does find his first. No armor here on Earl, and he gets eliminated by Fenui. It's all on Zeth, and he clutches it out. Great 1v2 there. And Charlie, that keeps Vitalize in the game, keeps him in the conversation, and a necessary clutch.
Yeah, Force Bite is going to come through from Legates, but Fred is certainly not going to be as strong as Vitalize's was.
It's just going to be pistols. We do see an MP9, in fact, on Rayman, but 2 Deagles, 2 5.7s. I like the fact that a lot of these players are using the 5.7 a little bit more. I feel like it usually used to just be, you know, full set of Deagles, maybe a Scout, but I like the fact the 5.7s are coming through. Ooh, the nade just shy of hitting its mark there. Fenui deep in apartments, and it's the 5.7s hit. Nice little crossfire, to be fair.
Yeah, Vitalize look like they want to head towards apartments, but that could be their downfall. Might think better of it.
Yeah, Flash does blind Earl, in fact. Ooh, bit of a dicey fight there. Earl just getting out of it. Rayman swings onto Reese. Fenui does find Zeth, though. It's a 3-on-4, but 2 players very low. And Pracy going to be in the back line. If he finds Regan, this round could be over. In fact, he doesn't swing onto Earl. Fenui with an AK in apartments. I don't think Reese is ready for it. Fraser, an important kill for onto Biggin. Fenui going to be swinging through, but they are heading back towards the B-bomb site. We saw a 1 versus 2 in the last from Zeth. Are we going to see one here from Fenui? And he takes down Earl. Once again, it's a bit of an individual mistake. They split. Instead of playing together, they give Fenui that 1 versus 1, and now it's on Fraser. An important round for him to win. And he's just going to hide his way in Dark.
Yeah, both players similar HP, 42 and 46 armor. But Fenui has that AK.
Sends out the flash. Oh, he spotted Fraser. Devastating. He was just kind of extended a little bit there. But Legates, they find their 12th. And Charlie, Fenui, 4K in that round. Remember, he started that round with just a 5.7. And he ends it with all the glory.
I mean, that's unbelievable, Fred. That was a 1 versus 3 Vitalize. They did enough to best the force by Legates, surely. But it was just the damage dealt, the mistakes made.
And once again, Charlie, he was given 3 individual 1v1s.
Yeah,
it's devastating to see.
It's these simple mistakes that Vitalize. We're not used to seeing from them. it does make me think, is it sort of early morning jitters?
Potentially it's just early morning, you know, the brain's not fully active. It happens to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not looking great for Vitalize in this one on their own map pick. 6-12 down. Reese pushes through the smoke. He's behind the CTs here.
He needs to turn, though. Can't allow these CTs to fight anymore. Big and surely going to fall to the nade. Earl has been forced back here, but we need to see... Well, Reese is just going to take this control here towards B. Find K very freely. And it's a 4 versus 3 hit. And Reese so deep. Fanui caught out with his util in hand. Reese finds another. He's had so much impact there. Gets caught out though.
Obviously, this was the full investment once again from Vitalize.
There's an AK to be retrieved as well. Vitalize. They really need to take this round, otherwise it's going to be a bit of trouble.
Yeah, Flash coming into Ruins. Oh, surely he's going to fall here with this. Flash.
Bit of a questionable spray, but still makes it. I think Pracy wanted to have a little bit of a push through that smoke, but opts against it. Molly towards New Box. Regan going to have to swing on out. The flash is good though for Zeth, and nice stuff there. Vitalize, an important round to win. They're 5 away from their opponents, but look at the money of Legates. It's going to have to be another Deagle 5-7 type of round, Charlie.
Yeah, massively important there for Zeth to swing. Regan got mollied out, and he would have been surely just a free kill. 2 players are glued to that area. They could have found him, no problem. But yeah, the fact that Zeth was there as well, causing pressure, being a nuisance, and just whittling the Legates players down. Yeah, massively important stuff there. Keeping alive.
Okay. Starts things off nicely with the HE grenade. Takes down Earl. Fraser, though, quick to trade as he eliminates Biggin. Does find Rayman. Fraser as well finds K. And this is the type of round we're expecting when you're against the Pistols, Charlie. You know, it's a 4 versus 2 now. We're not expecting Legates to come back into this one. But we've seen Vitalize. They love to go for those individual plays. And hopefully they won't in this round. Just stick together, stick as a pack.
Part of me still believes this is a round that could go the way of Legates. Just from what we've seen previously, Reese swings on out, does give him that 1v1. Tracy takes it. Brought down very low, though. Just 20 points of health.
Yeah, Zeph should catch him on the rotation here. He has spotted him. But I think they're just going to be gambling towards the B-bomb site. Vitalize. The A-bomb site completely open for the taking. Smoke towards Moto as well. They're not taking any chances.
They might just save this, Fred. It's going to have to be an eco next round for Legates. So maybe just keep hold of these weapons. Yeah, yes, they're only pistols, but you've got armor behind it. I think it's better than just throwing them at 3 AKs with plenty of util on this A-bomb site.
3 players surviving here, though, for Vitalize. So we're expecting the economy to start growing now. And it really needs to, doesn't it, Charlie? Because although Vitalize, they've got their little avenue back into this game, Legates only 4 away from closing out map 1.
Yeah, it feels like they are still certainly taking charge of this game. But Vitalize, they can't battle their way back. There's no reason why they can't. It feels like we've just seen a few too many little mistakes that have really been blunders for them.
Yeah, potentially we just need to see a bit of a pause, bit of a mental reset, and that could be the real difference maker. Hopefully these pistols will have that impact in the next. They've got a Mac 10 as well, so they can drop the 5-7 over. But Vitalize, looking to find their 9th, only will be 3 rounds away from Legates. So yeah, as you mentioned, they're not that far out of it, but certainly need to kind of polish up those little mistakes.
There's still, well, I want to believe there's still a chance in a round like this. You never know.
Oh, we've seen
Deagle, Mac 10 with armor, 5-7.
You never
I don't know, Fred. There's something about this Legate side right now.
Yeah, definitely. I do agree with you.
Yeah, it certainly does feel like they can pull the rabbit out of the hat when they need to, but Rayman gonna have a lot of pressure just to the USP. Doesn't even get to fire a bullet of it.
Nice opener there from Reese. They are going to be crunching onto the A-bomb site. That is where both Fanui and Pracy reside, though. Ooh, Reese playing with fire here, dodging death. Nice find, though, from Fanui. A lot of damage inflicted by their own teammate there. Zeth does find Fanui. Pracy still playing behind this smoke here. Potentially just needs to get the Mac 10 in hand.
Yeah, must have run out of bullets, but I don't think he's going to be able to win this one with just the USP.
He has got a smoke, could potentially delay. Zeth having a little look for Pracy, but Fraser will be the one to find him, and Earl just sneaks out of that. That's USP in the 5-7. Earl kind of looks back for a little bit of a cheeky second chance, but
does have information of where both these players are, though.
Yeah, that is going to be really important.
Yeah, Vitalize can set up their post-plant positions accordingly and should be able to just easily close this one out from here. No util on either of these two Legates players.
Yeah, no kit either. Zeth takes down Case, all on the USP at Biggin. They are going to be swinging him, giving him somewhat of an opportunity. Mac 10 in hand, jumping there. Could find one, but no. Zeth takes him down, keeps Fraser alive there. And Vitalize, they found that 9th. But yeah, Charlie, as you mentioned, you can never count out Legates.
Yeah, I mean, it was a decent round. I mean, nothing incredible, but did a decent bit of damage considering. But weapons are finally out front. This is the first full buy we've had of the second half. Full buy versus full buy. Yeah, it's been just that force buy war. Yeah, it's been pretty relentless here, but finally the storm has calmed.
The real question is, when are we going to see that out on the CT side? Legates kind of, well, didn't really utilize the AWP on the T side. They opted against it, and a lot of success found from that, so definitely understandable. But the buy's not perfect in this one. Charlie, we've had, what, 30 seconds of play, and they've only got 4 pieces of util remaining.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to contend with Vitalize, who do still have a decent amount left. They just used quite a decent bit, just taking this top banana control, applying pressure there. But what Vitalize have done is just wasted another smoke on this Legates roster.
Yeah, Vitalize, if they can just do a good job of just delaying, not even looking for a pick here, should be fairly comfortable. But Legates, they're going to be searching for something, surely.
Vitalize. Majority of their side towards this top banana position. Final smoke towards B has been used. In fact, Big Gun does have one.
Reese was searching for something there. A lot of damage dealt to both Earl and Fraser. They're going to pop their way through B. Biggin, completely trapped. No flashbang on his team. Goes for a swing, but Fraser eliminates. And it's K to push through the smoke. Finds his first, second as well. Regan on the trade, though. 3 versus 3. And Legates, they've been given an opportunity here. Rayman takes a lot of damage through the smoke. Pracy will find one. But Zeth takes down Fanui first, and now it's all on Regan. 1 versus 2 here, going to swing onto Rayman, isolate a gunfight, does find him successfully, but Pracy rotating in, does take him down, and Legates, they find their 13th here, Charlie. They edge ever closer to that all-important round 16 on the first map here, Inferno.
Fred, they just lost the initial man on that site execute as well. It was just K pushing through the smoke, so risky, but finds 2. Keeps it as close as possible. It becomes a 3 versus 3 where Pracy starts to be the one to take the lead there. Finds a double there, wins out the 1 versus 1. And the Gates do find 13, Fred. I mean, yeah, I don't know how they won that round. It feels like they should never have done it. They had no util left.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like they were always outmatched, outclassed, but I feel like K realised, I've got to take a risk. I've got to push through the smoke. Realistically, if I push through the smoke and die, my team can save. If I get a couple kills, we're right back in it.
Did exactly that as well, but Legates 3 rounds away from taking their opponent's map pick.
Yeah, Earl has something to say about that, though, as he does find the opener. Dropped down to 30 HP, though, from the utility. Fanui under porch currently. Will just back away, though, understandably as well. Doesn't want to kind of get caught out in the open. Ooh, nade just shy of hitting Earl. I think we're going to be seeing a bit of a coffin splash here. Rayman can retake this banana control. Earl has heard that. Oh, and Rayman, he's hungry for a frag, and he does find it. Back to a 4-on-4, a great kill to find.
It's a full gamble.
I love it. The perfect call to make, especially as Vitalize are going to be heading into the A-bomb site now as well. Fanui not being quiet about his position, but Reese isn't aware of him. Fanui finds one. Biggin as well with a kill. Pracy, everyone on this Legate side chiming in when necessary, and it's all on Regan. 1 versus 4. Searching for Rayman first. Does find the frag, but 32 points of health. The bomb has been dropped. Such a tough round for Regan, and Biggin eliminates. 14 found from Legates, and surely it's going to have to be a bit of an eco here from Vitalize. So Legates have the chance for match point, Charlie.
Fred, I don't know if you saw that from Legates there, but they initially gambled everyone towards B. They were ready for that, but they took the fight towards Banana. They found the kill, saw nothing, and then instantly the players run their way back to the A-bomb site, and it worked out perfectly, just in time as well. Stopping Vitalize before they made it onto the bomb site, and somehow won another round that just they were not favoured in at all.
Charlie, something I've got to point out quickly before the push comes through. This is the full investment here from Vitalize. They've thrown everything into this round, but K shuts one down. We'll get traded. It is going to be this pop now towards B. Smoke's coming over. Biggin with a lot of weight on his shoulders. Tries to elevate himself above the smoke, but the flash is good enough to force him back. But he's searching for something. He's hungry. Finds his first and the second. Brilliant from Biggin. And he can just fall back through the smoke, but Rayman's aggressing. And Biggin so close to finding Zeth, but it will be Fanui and Legates. They find 15. It's going to have to be a back-to-back force here from Vitalize, but they weren't able to do it with the techs in the last, so surely it might be a bit of a troublesome situation for them in round 25. Legates, what a performance they put up here on their opponent's map pick.
Yeah, 1 round away. Map point, sorry, not match point just yet. Can't jump the gun here, but map 1. Vitalize's map pick is 1 round away from going the way of Legates. But they'll be playing in their own ballpark. They'll be playing on Nuke, Fred, and that could be a bit of an upset. 2-0 to Legates, that possibly. But 1 round is still needed. Vitalize have to dig so deep to make this comeback happen, but it could all get shut down in Banana.
Yeah, Biggin, a brilliant double there. K by his side, unable to find the frag, but Earl dropped down to 28 points of health. They can be boosting a player up as well. Oh, Pracy finds Zeth. Caught out completely alone there in apartments. And now it's Earl and Reese to try and restabilize, try and keep themselves in this game. But Charlie, Fanui's boosted it up. We've got K playing a nice little off angle here. He has been spotted, but it doesn't matter. Reese falls, and it's all on the 28 HP Earl. I think this game, or this map, sorry, is going to be over. It's surely too tall of a task here for Earl. He needs to try and find something here towards B. If the boost goes unchecked, Earl's surely going to fall, but he's caught with Util in hand, and K takes him down. Legates close out map 1, 16-9. What a performance it was from Inferno. And Charlie, this is exactly what I mentioned. Picking a map like Inferno, high risk, because everyone knows this map to a T, and Legates, they proved it. They showed it so clearly here. You don't want to pick a map like Inferno against them. Go for a punishment, go for an Ancient, maybe an Anubis, keep them on their toes, but they're in their playground, they're in their wheelhouse, and you don't really want to be playing them against Inferno.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the fact that Legates won Vitalize map pick, it's the fact that they won it dominantly, 16-9, the confidence that they're going to have from that map going on to Nuke. That's a little bit scary, Fred. You leaned towards Vitalize in this series, but Legates now, they could be looking to edge it out 2-0.
Yep, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, who knows how this one's going to go, but Fred, I think we're going to have to wait and see after the break.